Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick video. All right, y'all, just want to give you my post-fight review on this fight between Patrick Teixeira and Brian Castano. This was a boxing match that took place on Saturday. I was watching it between the UFC fights and the boxing matches that were going down. I definitely wanted to see this fight between Patrick Teixeira and Brian Castano because it was for the WBO belt in the junior middleweight division, and I'm a fan of the junior middleweight division. It's probably the one other division that has a lot of talent, but the thing about it is I feel like everybody mixes it up here. Like, the welterweight division is, it's hot, it's flaming hot, but it still takes a while to get everybody on the same page. But in this division, you have a lot of fighters mixing it up, undefeated fighters versus undefeated fighters. You're getting closer to undisputed. You always have a unified champion. You got a unified champion in Jamel who needs one more belt. And now that this fight between Patrick Teixeira and Brian Castano took place, we now have another WBO champion. Patrick Teixeira, he lost his belt to Brian Castano in a lopsided decision. I mean, it was complete shutout. Brian Castano, he's undefeated, young up-and-coming fighter. He's a strong pressure fighter. He really went in here and performed hard for 12 rounds. I got to give the guy a lot of credit. Last time out, whenever he fought Erislandy Lara like 2 fights ago, he gave Lara all he could handle. They went back and forth to a draw. He went in this fight against a tall, rangy boxer, tall, rangy champion. And, he just nullified everything that the boxer could do. And that's why I like to see in a performance. Like, I could go down and break this round by round, but I mean, I really be just repeating myself. I mean, Castano, he just went in there and put the pressure on him. He put the pressure on the tall, long boxer, never let him set his feet, just constantly kept the high guard and dogged him. He would go on the inside and really dog him, beat him to the body, go up top to the head. I can't really say Patrick Teixeira really won any rounds in the first half. It was 6-0 all the way up to the second half. I'd say maybe Patrick Teixeira had maybe a couple of moments in one round. I'd say maybe like around 8 or 9. He had a couple of good right hands he landed towards the end of the bell. But once again, it was another complete shutout in the second half. Brian Castano, he kind of took the Canelo approach against a taller, longer fighter like, Canelo did against Caleb Smith. But he didn't really box in the same way. He just, constantly put pressure, and he was fighting him and dogging him on the inside throughout these rounds. It was more like an unpolished Canelo, but I feel like if Brian Castano continues to work on his skill and maybe work on slickness, he could be that type of boxer, because he was very effective being the shorter man here. He was just really crowding this taller, lanky fighter. He just continued to go on the inside of the jab, block a lot of the punches, draw Patrick Teixeira to an inside fight game, and he would just beat him to the body and beat him to the punch. Patrick Teixeira, like I said, he had some moments with body shots, but he really just looked completely outgunned and outpressured in this fight. He really took some hard shots. He looked close to being stopped towards the later half of the fight. But Brian Castano, he just continued to work. He continued to work even if he didn't close the show. So shout out to Brian Castano. He definitely deserved the win. Complete shutout. I had it 12 rounds to 0. He's the newly crowned WBO champion, and he's calling out Jamel Charlo, who holds the rest of the belts in the division. So that's what we want. We want a young undefeated fighter with a belt calling out the unified champion, so we can get closer to an undisputed fight. Because even though there's a lot of other good fights you can make it in the junior middleweight division, this is the one fight that's going to make the most sense, undisputed. And I feel like Jamel Charlo, he wants that. I mean, he said he would take Patrick Teixeira. Patrick Teixeira called him out, and that would have been a wise business move on Patrick Teixeira's part if he went on and taken that fight. He should have took that fight. At least maybe he would have got more money, and there would have been, a bigger reward if he could have upset Charlo. You know what I mean? It would have been a bigger fight on a bigger platform, but he chose the Brian Castano fight, lost the belt. Now Brian Castano puts himself in that position for undisputed, and that's what he wants. But yeah, man, that's all I got on this one, guys. Like I said, it was a good fight, good pressure fight. It's a good fight for young up-and-coming fighters to watch, and watch how the shorter, stockier fighters, they can put that pressure on long, taller boxers. How you got to go in on the inside and just completely disrespect them and just dog them out, and just take away their jab with your right hand and keep them on the back foot, keep them resetting, never let them keep their feet set. Just put the work on. It was a pretty good fight. From here, Patrick Teixeira, I'm not sure. I mean, he really showed a lot of holes in his game that he couldn't handle pressure fighters. So, we'll see who he gets to fight from here. But as for Brian Castano, I want to see him fight Jamel Charlo for all the belts. That's going to be good for undisputed. I think we can all say that Jamel Charlo, he is the favorite in that fight. But yeah, hopefully we can talk this fight up. Hopefully this is the one that happens. But guys, if y'all saw the fight, let me know what y'all thought. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.